Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire. Before we get started, let me say Ramadan Mubarak. In advance, I'm hoping that everybody has a successful fast. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm here today to talk about the Islamic City 30-day challenge to love Allah more. What does that mean, Preacher? It means that we're all going to talk about the different ways that we can love Allah more, that we can dedicate ourselves and devote ourselves to the Most High, and in this special time of the year, Ramadan, get closer to our Lord. Now, the way I'm going to love Allah more, brothers and sisters, is I'm going to focus on correctness. Self-correctness, emotional correctness, spiritual correctness. Because I believe in this way I get closer to my Lord because I'm a lot more humble and a lot more open to His mercy and His wisdom. This was a big thing for me when I became Muslim about self-correction, especially growing up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, hearing all the noise about what I was supposed to be as a young black man, as a young black boy. And I found this calm, if you will. This calm that was passed down for me, from my relatives, my mom, my dad, all my relatives. It was that whole idea that we could self-correct ourselves. And I found this peace in the religion of Al-Islam. Now, you can't do what I'm going to do. I mean, don't copycat. Make your own video. I already said I'm going to love Allah more because I'm going to focus on self-correction. You have an opportunity to make your own video and talk about how you are going to love Allah more. That's right. So what are you standing there for? You got a limited amount of time. Ramadan is starting in like 15 minutes. I believe that you should get out and try to figure out how you're going to love Allah more. Make a video, 2 to 3 minutes. Join the challenge for Islamic City to love Allah more. I'm Preacher Moss. In advance, Ramadan Mubarak, and I'll be seeing you throughout this 30 days. Take care. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. This is your brother, Preacher Moss. Oh my gosh. Man, Ramadan Mubarak. It is day 13, and I'm here to tell you this has to be one of the fastest Ramadans I've ever been a part of. The only faster Ramadan I was a part of was I was in Alaska, and the sun would go down the sun would come up at like 10 o'clock and to go down at like 2:30. Of course, I didn't stay, but that was the rules. I complied with Alaska Ramadan rules. Whew. So let me get a quick shout out. Let's make some really serious dua and prayers for Sister Eleanor. She's not doing so well. And, we're talking about a woman who has just so much goodness in her and just so much bounce in her. And whenever I see her, she just so has so much energy. And on a personal note, while she's one of my mom's best friends, that when my mom was having health problems, she was there to soldier for my mom, and I mean, just the things she did for my family, teach my mom how to use the Metro plan and get around on her own and help with her own self-sufficiency. Right now, she's not doing so well, so please keep her in your duas. All right, and got a blessing yesterday. The Mama Son actually came on and signed on, and she was back on being a part of the ShOUT show, along with my aunt holding it down in Lanham, Maryland. God bless the Golden Girls from Danville, Virginia, making it happen. Appreciate you. I don't think they like the Golden Girls thing. Today's topic is something I've really, really been talking about. It's just, as a comedian, I don't know how to really frame this, but as a comedian and the persona that we're very joyful people because we make people laugh. That some people take it upon themselves to think that we have a fiduciary responsibility to make them laugh when we're not on stage, when we're not performing or in a movie, in a sitcom, that somehow this is what we're supposed to do. And what it is, and people are very well-meaning, but what happens is you draw, in many regards, you draw like people who are, for lack of a better word, miserable. When I say miserable, it means that these people, in some regards, have not figured out the spirit of themselves, to enjoy themselves, to enjoy others, And I pray for these people because that's a very tough existence. It's a very tough existence when you're not happy over a long period of time. And I may use the word miserable, which is strong, but I didn't want to say trouble because I don't know the condition of the people of which I was talking about. I can only go off the impression that I have from one or two meetings, if you will. And shout out and blessings and duas for those people too. But one of the things I have found that is, I'd say, in the pantheon of emotional capital here in the United States and around the world, is that people have gone into a space where they, in many regards, are very differential to their own happiness, their own state of what we're going to talk about, joy. That people are differential in terms of not addressing aspects of joy in their life, not pursuing joy, not respecting it, not revaluing it, let people take it from them. Our topic today is demanding joy in your life. I find that when I am around people who demand joy in their life, my life is that much better. To even go further, it increases the ibadah of just smiles. That a mosque that is happy, or a church that is happy, or a synagogue that is happy, is bound by the leadership that says of all the things that we are guaranteed if we follow this religion, despite the fact there may be hardships, troubles, challenges, is that in the interstitial along the way, these blessings contain joy. So today's topic is going to be about demanding joy in your life. Now, before we get started, let me get to the joyful part before my talk. That is my shout out show family who are in effect here. I want to give a shout out to the shout out show family. Let's go and bring them in, Sister Tana, Sister Ree, who I was just texting with. Sister Ree, hang on in there. Claritin, honey, tea. Hopefully that this allergy season will be curtailed. Hopefully, inshallah, we get to the end of it. But before that, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to you, Brother Derek, and Brother Juwan. Making du'as for you. I'm dealing with the allergies too, so I don't know if I got allergy or cold. That's how bad it is. I can't tell the difference. All right, next up, my little brother, Johnny L. Thomas. Man, thank you for tuning in, brother. You were working stiff. Man, I love my brother because this brother has been through so many challenges and people who have tried to take his joy. And my brother is so concerned. He's so kind and such a good spirit because, when you see somebody trying to take one of your people's joy, one of your loved one's joy, you know how it is. Let's go and do this thing. And I have to say that he has been a good counsel to me as a little brother because, I'm ready to just unsheath the Excalibur. Let's go get him. And he has taught me patience at times and revered me on my religious treaties as a Muslim, oftentimes to make sure that one, I didn't anger Allah. Number two, I didn't wind up going to jail for a very long time. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You, beloved, appreciate you so much for coming on the show. Thank you again. Shout out to my nephews. My nephews are Ray. My nephews are JT. My nephews are Jordan. Shout out to all the Thomas women. Shout out to Sister Yolanda as well. Good to see you on the spot. Next up, our Canadian ambassador to the show. I done downgraded you. I'm sorry. A Canadian envoy to the show. Ataf Rashid. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One of our true blues day ones who's been here with the show, man. I appreciate you just tuning in. I know it's getting around that time for iftar. Same thing with Sister Satana. She soldiers every show. We do it for 30 days. I don't even know. At the end, I don't even know, Satana, how we make it for 30 days, but we do it. But when it's over and we go back to once a week, you're like, alhamdulillah. But that's just being what it is, man. And I have to say that in this 30 days, I really get to appreciate everybody. Sister Satana, Altaf, JT, Ree. You don't know what it is in terms of just a joy, if it is. A joy to just see people that are, because this is a very communal show. Like, people will drop in, but it's like you got your family. Like, if you had a cookout or something and you invited your family and they bought somebody, but that somebody ain't really part of the crew, but you're like, hey, go ahead and get yourself a plate. Not during Ramadan. Go get yourself a plate. I'm going to get mine later. But I'm just saying that I appreciate that. All right, next up, Brother Eric Carter. Why alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Big E. I'm gonna stop calling you Eric. I'm gonna call you Big E. Big E, like the big Elvin Hayes, who was Hall of Fame basketball player for the Washington Bullets. The one year they won a championship. They ain't won nothing since. But when he used to get the ball, we used to yell Big E. So I'm gonna give you that moniker, man, because you a show improved guy, man. You come on through every day. I appreciate you. All right, next up. And big brother Bilal Salahuddin, he said, we're here. I got the picture, brother. I'm going to put it up. Brother Bilal was nice enough to send a picture of his grandson reaching up on the TV during the shout out show. It's the cutest thing in the world. I now have his approval to do so. And I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to encourage everybody, all of you, Eric, Bilal, Sister Sonia, JT, everybody, I'm gonna encourage all of y'all. Make yourself a little video for our Ramadan 30-day challenge to love a lot more. I'm gonna tell everybody go ahead and make a little video because it's coming along. I think I'm gonna show one of the videos today or tomorrow, inshallah, just so you get to see it, man. Because I feel like these are the things. I do a lot of things in terms of entertainment and stuff like that, but these are the things that really, really make me happy. A couple of days ago, I was on the basketball court, and I shouldn't have been there, but I was a couple of days on the basketball court, and I saw a young man trying to shoot ball, and he was having a hard time, and I could have just let him keep with the same thing, but I said, hey man, maybe if you fix this and fix that and move this around and that, and just that little bit of teaching, when you saw the person make a shot like two in a row, just saw the joy in their face, man. It just made the world a better place. All right, Bilal. Peace and blessings to you and the Queen, Sister Sonia. You know what it is. Hope y'all doing well. Have we gotten everybody's virtual iftar in? Because I'm starting to send out payments now. Satana, have we gotten anything for virtual iftar? If not, go to permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Again, that's permissiblelaughter@gmail.com. Eric Althoff, we gotta make sure because Althoff can't get Zelle. Eric Althoff, Bilal, I'm sending everything out the end of this week, so I want to make sure everybody's taken care of because that's the cutoff. Because I want to fake shout out show family members showing up like I'm here. Outside of Sister Rabina requested that hers be applied to a charity, and I will do that. Other than that, everybody else, it's time. We can't eat right now, but I want you to make sure that you're fed. That's a joy to me as well. All right. All the allergy sufferers can come north. All right. All right. JT said my George Jordan selected Yale. Alhamdulillah. That's my nephew going to Yale. Closest I'm gonna get to Yale is him. So mashallah. Uh-oh. Trouble in the building, brothers and sisters. 2 days in a row. Mama Ma says, hello, SOS family. Blessed to be back in operation. Stay blessed. We're happy to see you back in operation, Mom. I know you tuned in a little bit late, but we made a big issue about praying for Sister Eleanor Davis, my sister Eleanor Davis. So try and call her if you get it. I called her and she didn't pick up. Okay. And last but not least, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to my dear sister, Satana Whitfield, who's been with me for quite a long time and making a difference. Sometimes when you're creative, you're used to doing things your way. And sometimes it's creative, you're used to doing things your way and getting them your way because nobody says anything. Nobody goes, don't do that. Ooh, I wouldn't look at it. I wouldn't put that there. I have to give some shout out to Sister Tana because Sister Tana has put me in a space where I am creative in different ways. The overlays are not my doing, brothers and sisters. They come at the inspiration of Sister Satana. And these overlays have been profitable and helpful, being able to pay bills and fun aspects of the show. And just a difference of opinion. Sometimes she gives me my opinion, and it happens like that. She gives me my opinion. But I have to say, it's been a joy because Sister Tana is an intelligent, creative lady, sister. I want those in the community start paying her more. She deserves it. Can't do that free 99 all the time. And I'm going to advocate for people paying her. I don't make much, but I try and make sure that my sister's taken care of. And this is the point that I want to make about people like Sister Satana and everybody on the ShOUT show. This is the point I want to make. From 5 o'clock to 5:30 or 6 o'clock to 6:30, you could be anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. You could be doing whatever you wanted to. You could not be here, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But you're here. And it inspires me in different ways because when the cameras go off and I go out into society, I do see people different because I'm part of a community. Then let me say this. I'm part of different communities, the Muslim community, the comedy community, blah, 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 blah. But this community is unique. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. All right. So we're gonna get dial this thing up. I ran a little bit long. Forgive me. We're gonna start the show and we're gonna be talking today about demanding joy in your life. Don't move. All right, we're back. Oh, Sister Tana on top of it. Get the subject card up. Oh, we dangerous today. All right. This whole idea of demanding joy in your life, it actually starts after my freshman year at college. Let me explain. My freshman year at college, I need to find work, right? You come home from college. I had horrible jobs. Um, I had a job selling pots and pans door to door. Now, the way this would work is they give you this whole thing of orientation, but the orientation never really worked because you have to realize that you're selling pots and pans to people that you don't know. And we would ride in this van, and they would drop us off in neighborhoods we didn't even know. And you'd be there from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. They pick you up at 10 o'clock. And from that time, you had to fend for yourself. And I'm here to tell you, I was a young comedian. I wasn't like active. I'm talking about being 18 years old. I wasn't even old enough to get into the regular clubs. Thank goodness the Jazz Brothers took me on. Here's the thing. Every day we were riding that van, I just had an absolute heightened sense of dread. Dread. And what I mean was, I dreaded not selling the pots and pans, but going through the motions of engaging people, knowing at the end there was a high probability that they didn't have pots and pans. That you would ask somebody, so how long have you been in the neighborhood? And they say 20 years. Well, 20 years basically means that they probably have pots and pans. If you're not going to know what we're doing, I'm cooking right now. That means they have pots and pans. And you had to eat it. And it was commission based. And I remember I was broke as the Ten Commandments to the point where I did something I didn't want to do. I had to ask my dad for money. I said, Pops, can you loan me $50 or $20 because I had to eat. I didn't have money to eat. And he was like, how are you working and you don't have money to eat? This is after 2 weeks. I didn't have a paycheck because I didn't sell a pot or a pan. And I was cutting grass one morning and he said, cut off the lawnmower. I said, sir. He goes, man, I don't mind you being broke. I said, okay, sir. He said, I don't mind you being broke. We all been broke. We all have had no money. He said, my problem is you got no joy. He said, you're moping around the house. He said, you affected my vibe. And I said, please explain. He said, every day, if you're going to do this job, take your joy with you. And I said, explain that to me. He said, if you're going to do the job, if you can't take the joy to the job, don't do the joy. Don't do the job. Figure out something else where in the end, this blessing of being able to smile at the end of the day, despite how hard it is, You smile at the end of the day because you know what? There was an intangible that kept you going, that gave you the thing that creased your mouth on this side and this side. So here we go. I had a job after I got fired from the pots and pans job. And I got fired a lot my freshman summer. But I had a job working at Bob's Big Boy. Now I'm at Bob's Big Boy, and my friend hooked me up at Bob's Big Boy. Well, basically, they were friends, whatever. I took the job at Bob's Big Boy because I was like, it's got to be better than pots and pans. I was a dishwasher. So I'm in the back washing dishes. And if you ever been at a restaurant, the dishes just continue to keep going. Continue to keep going. You clean up a rack of dishes, put them on the thing, gotta wash them. There's food all over the place. You're always wet. Didn't like the job. Now, as a comedian, you look for things to laugh at. I work with a guy named Bio Bello. And Bio Bello was an African brother, like real African brother. He had, carvings in his face. And Bio would always smile. That's how he smiled. I'm like, how's he smiling? We both working in Bob's Big Boy. But Bio didn't work in the dishwashing situation. Bio worked as a person that would bring the dishes out. He'd bring the dishes out. He'd bring the nice silverware out. And Bio would never get upset with me. He'd say the same thing. Preacher, we need dinner plates. That's all he said. It didn't matter if we needed one dinner plate or 1,000 dinner plates. It was the same thing. Preacher, we need dinner plates. We need dinner plates. Preacher, we need dinner plates. And he would laugh with a big smile. We need dinner plates. We need dinner plates. And I said, I think I found my joy. Because I believe his whole command of the English language is, I need dinner plates. And so, all right, this sounds really bad. But to increase my joy, I went around because he got promoted to be sort of like a waiter, and so I put it on everybody's card. The special of the day is dinner plates. and so he go, welcome to Big Boy, and they go, how are the dinner plates today? And he looked around, and me and my friend, it was Ricardo and I was just sat. We bust out laughing. And now I'm going to say I didn't get fired from this job. I actually lasted at the job. But just a little bit of joy of knowing that Bio Bella was going to be there with his limited English asking, preacher, we need dinner plates. I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. In fact, years later, after I graduated college, I was at a grocery store doing some shopping for my mother. I saw Bio Bello. And I walked up to him, preacher, and his English was better. He said, preacher, man, he gave me a hug. And I'm like, I said, man, it's so good to see you. How's your family? Da, da, da. He got married. I said, you know what, man? He goes, what? I said, we need dinner plates. My point is, you can find joy, but it's better if you demand it. It's better if you demand joy. See, in this world, we're deferential. I'm gonna do it for the kids. I'm gonna do it for the wife. I'm gonna do it for mama. I'm gonna do it for the master. I'm gonna do it for this. I'm gonna do it for that. Meanwhile, your joy, joy is like a muscle. If you don't work it out, it will atrophy. And it's not that you have less joy, you'll have problems facilitating it a lot more. What I mean by every day I get up in the morning, I run. That's my joy. I would run in the morning. That's my joy. So after 3-4 miles, and the joy was I didn't have to talk to people that early in the morning. But the joy was there. And even now, when I get an injury or so and I can't run, I do feel like it does shrink my joy. But the gratitude and thankfulness and just being grateful, if you will, makes it a lot better. My Aunt Maxine says joy starts within and shines outward. Now, why is that important? Because joy is self-generative. It's self-generative. The The compunction of people who are people of faith understand that at the end of difficulty, they say there's relief, but there's also joy. Of all the things that I've tried in my life that have worked, that have failed, I think the end is I have a little bit of biobello in me. So when people say how'd it go, I go, I need dinner plates. We'll be right back. Don't you move.
We just need help.
Imagine if there wasn't an olive branch. Muslim Family Services at your command. The people who help people have to say, we need your donations, don't delay. We all have struggles from time to time, but leaders dedicated is what you find. Before another person sheds a tear, support Olive Branch, you don't have to fear. Olive Branch Muslim Family Services. Action you can see, compassion you can feel. Sing it with me. Ooh. Ooh. All right. So to continue this theme, I'm going to actually draw on something that I said yesterday. Now, our subject yesterday was prejudice against the poor. Outside of the overt oppression that the poor have to endure, politics, just skullduggery, insincerity, criminal behavior, you could throw it out there. Indifference, indifference, apathy, you can throw it all out there. One of the things that's always annoying me is that people look upon the poor, and it's not just some people look upon the poor and say, oh, you deserve to be poor. It's that they feel like they don't deserve joy, that they don't have a rightful place to have joy. See, you know what's interesting, and I could be wrong, but joy among our pioneers, joy amongst our forefathers was at such a premium that when they held on to it, everybody could see it. He said there's a fine line between sanity and insanity. If you think of the slave, the life of the slave, it's a miserable life. What keeps him going? It's joy. The master can't give it to him, and the master can't take it from him. It is an innate connection to whatever it is your spiritual superior is that you dial into. That's where it comes from. And more, as we lose our elderly, and this could be construed the wrong way, so let me just frame it. The people who had to literally fight for joy, that the fight for joy was a life and death issue, they're leaving us now. The civil rights marches we used to have and the protests we used to have, those were about human dignity, but it was tied to joy. I heard Martin Luther King give a speech one time, and in the subtext he talked about, the rights of children to experience and expand joy. Now, these days, people are tied in, I say it again, social media, things like that. We try to emote joy on social media. We try to let the people know that I have money, so I have joy. I have a big car, I have joy. My face looks this way, I have joy. Look at my products. But that's not joy. That's a substitute for emptiness. Because joy takes work. I'll say it again. Joy takes work. It's like when you make a cake. My mom used to let me make cakes, right? God bless her. She ate a couple of them too. Alhamdulillah. But I used to make cakes, and my freedom was my mother never told me what I used to do crazy stuff. I used to put orange juice in cakes. I used to put all kind of stuff in cake, and I would bake them. I'd be like, hey, Mom, eat it. She's like, you didn't have it. I'm like, I'm not going to eat that. And I tell her to eat it. But my joy was my mother gave me freedom. And what happened was, as I got older, I actually got around to making legitimate cakes. And I understood it was fun to take them around. My Aunt Ruth used to make these cakes, and it used to be the fun, like the biggest thing, and it was her joy to watch it. So I'm going to put something on you guys as a challenge. From here to the end of Ramadan, focus and demand your joy. That's our show today. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Demand that joy.